And that's our cue. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
I'm Richard Corus.
I'm Tony Porreco.
And as you may have noticed, Adele had a little car trouble tonight, so filling in and reading EBG tonight is Tony. Welcome, Tony. Thanks for sitting in.
Happy to be here, Craig.
And filling in tonight and helping us out with Easy Being Green. As I mentioned, News and Community Bulletin Board, our CBB file, which is Community Bulletin Board. A roll-in from Amy Sue. What would our pre-4th of July show be without a little something from Amy Sue and her Xmas in July, Xmas in July special, News for Seniors, and then a roll-in and a little comment on the Arlington County Board and their recent goings-on over there. That's our show. But before we begin, social media reminder from Sir Richard here.
Yes, you can watch us online on youtube.com at our channel, youtube.com, Arlington Weekly News, then the number 1, or on facebook.com, Arlington Weekly News. We also broadcast on WERA Radio 96.7. FM.
Also on the radio, we're in your ear at 96.7 LPFM WERA. Check us out. Here we go, the first of our news items. Well, Arlington's 8-month-old pilot program allowing the use of electric scooters has been extended by 6 months. According to a recent Fox 5 article, and we're quoting now, between October 2018 and April 2019, more than 313,000 people went for a ride in Arlington, totaling about 307,000 miles. The article did not distinguish between the number of actual users as opposed to the number of rides taken, and it's likely some riders may have used the scooters more than once. Meanwhile, the county has received hundreds of complaints, including saying that there's been improper parking, riding on sidewalks, riders who appear to be underage, and unsafe behavior. Well, Jim Larson, Arlington's Commuter Services Bureau Chief, said that he would like to see the scooter companies incentivize proper parking. However, the burden of preventing scooter operators from riding on sidewalks, ignoring stop signs, or running red lights will probably fall to Arlington's Police Department. As a side note, the city of Nashville, Tennessee is considering a ban on all electric scooters after a man died while riding one. Richard.
The Arlington County Police Department announced the addition of 12 new police officers. The new members took their oaths when they graduated from the Northern Virginia Criminal Justice Training Academy. However, solo patrol duty will not begin until the new officers have completed local and field training programs. Craig.
And Richard, also in our news items, well, longtime Arlington Diner, Bob and Edith's, was the site of a disorderly conduct on part of 4 patrons there. When when police arrived to escort one of the suspects from the diner, he pushed the officer, and the remaining 3 suspects began to interfere with the arresting procedure. Ultimately, additional police units arrived, but all 4 suspects, that is, continued with their disorderly conduct and were finally taken into custody, and charges were filed. They were charged with drunkenness in public. The suspects were identified as Rudy Barrera, 25, of Sterling, Cynthia Escobar Gomez, 24, also of Sterling, Yancy Aguilar, 22, of Fairfax, and Gabriel Gonzalez, 25, of Arlington. Richard.
10-year county employee Gretchen Reinemeyer has been sworn in to replace former Registrar Linda Lindberg. Ms. Lindberg is retiring after more than 25 years in her position. The General Registrar is the head of the Voting and Elections Office, which is responsible for conducting voter registration and elections in Arlington County. In a recent remark, Ms. Lindberg thanked the police, facilities, and maintenance staff at Arlington schools, the Electoral Board, and the many election volunteers who served over the years. She's added, "Thank you, Arlington. Keep on voting." And now it's time for Easy Being Green.
Welcome to It's Easy Being Green. My name is Tony Porreco, and our mascot Joe Tree Frog and I are helping you add a little green into your Independence Day celebrations. Here are 7 easy ways to host a green shindig without a lot of fuss. 1. Party outdoors. Host your patriotic party outside in the cooler evening hours, and to keep the party going well past dark, use solar-powered lights to reduce energy costs and usage associated with electric outdoor light fixtures. 2. Green up the grill. When it comes to which is more eco-friendly, in the age-old debate between charcoal and propane, the overall footprint grilling with charcoal produced almost 3 times more CO2 than propane. If you're craving that smoky southern barbecue flavor charcoal imparts to the food, look for green charcoal that's natural and additive-free or natural lump charcoal. Fantastic eco-friendly options include electric grills and solar-powered grills. 3. Ditch disposable dinnerware. Avoid overflowing trash bins with single-use plastics and styrofoam. People tend to overuse utensils and dinnerware when they're disposable. Tossing out all that trash goes straight to our already packed landfills, and that's not great for the environment. One of the easiest things you can do this July 4th is provide biodegradable and compostable disposable dinnerware, or opt for normal tableware that can be washed and reused. 4. Buy local and organic. Supporting your local farmers helps to reduce your environmental impact and steer clear of pesticides on this patriotic day. 5. Reduce food waste. Holiday tables are typically packed with food and drinks. Often this food either goes bad from sitting out too long and gets tossed, or simply goes to waste. Throwing a potluck helps to reduce food waste. When guests bring their own dish in a covered, reusable container, whatever is left over can be traded with other guests and taken home as leftovers. 6. Make your own popsicles. Store-bought desserts are full of refined sugars and fat. The perfect way to cool down and treat your sweet tooth is to whip up some fabulous popsicles the day before the party. 7. Ask for greener fireworks. If you're setting off your own fireworks this holiday, be sure to ask for fireworks rich in nitrogen. They produce less acrid smoke in the environment. Or look for eco-friendly floating lanterns to light up the night. Remember, it's easy being green celebrating the 4th of July. Craig.
All right, thanks, Tony. I like that one. Number 6, make your own popsicles. Who knows what you could put in those popsicles, right? Really give that party a kick. All right, appreciate it. Nice job. Thanks, Tony, for filling in for Adele tonight.
Happy to.
All right, here we go. As promised now, our CBB Community Bulletin Board file. Well, we'll start with an event for younger kids between the ages of 3 and 6. This one's called Rainforest Animals. It's about the tropical rainforest, which supports the greatest diversity of plants and animals in the entire world. Admission is $5 per child, and parents must remain on site. There are a couple of dates for this this event coming up Friday, July 5, and also Tuesday, July 9, from 1 to 2 in the afternoon at Gulf Branch Nature Center and Park. They're located at 3608 North Military Road. For more information and to register, give them a call at the number on your screen and in your ear now, 703-228-3403. Richard.
Well, tonight I'm wearing my patriotic red, white, and blue headgear to get ready for Independence Day. I think these tops here are kind of like explosions or fireworks in midair. Yep. Well, having completed the Independence Day celebrations, some history-minded families might be interested in the war that split the nation in two. Of course, we're referring to the American Civil War. The event is a walking tour of Fort C.F. Smith Park. It was one of the last forts to be built to protect the nation's capital during the war. Families with kids aged 7 and up can participate, but be sure to dress for the weather because the terrain will be uneven and the ground may be muddy. This free event will take place on Saturday, July 6th from 9 to 11 a.m. at Fort C.F. Smith Park, 2411 24th Street North. To register, call 703-228-4747. Craig.
You look fabulous there, Mr. Richard, with your headgear. All right, also in our CBB file, well, for kids who prefer a later wake-up call, here's another event that takes place just before lunchtime. It's called Civil War Discoveries Infantry Drills, and it's for kids ages 7 to 11. They'll learn how to march and turn and drill with replica wood rifles. Cost is $5 per child, and that's also coming up on Saturday, July 6th, from 11 till noon at Fort C.F. Smith Park, 2411 24th Street North. For more information and to register, call them at this number, 703-228-4747. Richard.
Some families may simply prefer an evening of old-fashioned outdoor fun. For them, there's the upcoming Crystal Campfire. It's just a chance for kids age 3 and up, along with their families, to enjoy entertaining activities such as stories, games, songs, animal guests, and, of course, s'mores. Admission is $5. That's also on Saturday, July 6th from 7 to 8 p.m. at Long Branch Nature Center in Glen Carlin Park, 625 South Carlin Springs Road. To register, call 703-228-4747. Now it's time for our roll-in with Amy Sue Huey, presenting Eggmass in July.
For this appearance, Amy Sue Huey is appearing in the character of Mrs. Claus.
I am just as famous as
I would say.
the Howie Mandel, wouldn't
probably.
you? And I will
Absolutely.
shake hands with you.
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I will.
Yes, you would.
They did not call me. Richard, did they
What's-
call me?
what's
Not
wrong
at
with
all.
them?
No, they didn't.
I would call you.
And I have an act. Yes, I do.
Yes, you do.
Would you guys like to see my act?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, you got
I
an
do
act. Oh,
not
you have a
just
real
tell
act.
funny jokes. What do you get when you deep fry Santa? Kris Kringle.
I like that one. That's good.
That's not too funny about Santa Claus, though, is it?
Can I eat my Grinch now? I'm
Yes,
getting kind of
eat
hungry.
your Grinch.
Thank
Now,
you.
would you guys like to see what my act is?
Let's see it.
Okay, I'm going to show you my act. Now, America's Got Talent, Network Stars.
Pretty good.
All right, Daniel, come on over. Now, I'm going to attempt. These eggs are not hard-boiled. These eggs are raw, okay? And not a one of them is going to break. Now, don't nobody look at my bare ankles, people, because it may turn you on, okay? And that is scandalous. And here at the Arlington Weekly News, we do not do scandal or smut, okay?
Oh, smut.
Okay, now here we go.
I see you
Walk
painted
on
your
these,
toenail. That's very nice.
And not a one of them. Oh, Lordy.
Uh-oh.
Well, on the YouTube, they didn't break. Okay, now let go of my hand. Let me see. On the YouTube, not a one of them broke.
What's
Well, somewhere people can pay big money
Well.
on those smuts.
What do you know about that? They're not, the eggs are not as strong as you thought they were.
Misled. I don't think they'll be calling me.
Maybe
I
you
think
should
I
have
best
just tried
work
them
on my
sideways.
talents.
Maybe it's the
Yeah.
maybe it's the
A few of 'em
packaging.
stayed. What do you think?
Maybe it's the packaging.
I think so. I think it's those. I think I bought cheap eggs.
Well, so much for hard boiling those. Well, there's a couple there. You can make omelets.
There we go. Jingle
bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Hey, oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Amy Sue has been ailing lately, but is hoping to return sometime later in the fall. Meanwhile, I'm sure viewers will join Captain Ahab in saying, "Get well soon."
Hey, there's a little something from our very own Amy Sue and her extravaganza. That was previously recorded. Thank you, Amy Sue, and we hope you're feeling better and on the mend, and come back and join us again whenever you're ready. All right, well, News for Seniors glasses, as you may have noticed, in keeping with the fashion trend here on our pre-4th of July show for this 2019 edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. Here we go with News for Seniors. You can almost see through these. Senior centers will be closed on Thursday, July 4th to celebrate Independence Day. All programs will resume the following day. And here's a note from Spellbinders. Arlington Spellbinders are a group of volunteer storytellers. They like to engage young people in the magic of oral storytelling in the classroom, library, and recreation settings. Each meeting provides continuing education, support, and camaraderie. Next meeting is coming up on Friday, July 5 from 9:30 till 11 in the AM portion of the day at Langston Brown Community and Senior Center. They're located at 2909 16th Street South. More information and registration is available at this number on your screen now and in your ear, 703-228-6300. Mr. Richard.
Art historian Joan Hart is presenting a program to commemorate the 500th anniversary of Leonardo da Vinci's death. She will examine his portrayals of women, including perhaps his most famous portrait, the Mona Lisa. The program will take place on Monday, July 8th from 1:30 to 3 p.m. at the Aurora Hills Community and Senior Center located at 735 18th Street South. There is a $6 fee to register. Call to register at 703-228-5722. Craig.
And Richard, also in our News for Seniors file, Langston Brown, Arlington Mill, and Aurora Hills Senior Centers all have line dancing classes for beginners. Line dancing is a lot of fun and also great exercise. There are also intermediate and advanced classes for line dancers. For more information and registration, call them at this number, 703-228-4721. Richard.
Arlington County 55-plus travel program offers 15 or more trips every month. They are available to seniors who are registered with the Office of Senior Adult Programs and get 55-plus passes for an annual fee of $20. Some of the July trips coming up include Shenandoah Summer Music Festival Theater, High Tea at Gramercy Mansion, Captain Billy's, the Museum, Chop Tank Sightseeing Cruise, National Graphic Museum, Nationals Baseball Game, and Wolf Trap. For information, call the 55-plus travel office at 703-228-4878. And thanks to Judy Masabny for contributing our senior stories.
You bet. Thanks, Judy.
And we've got another roll-in, a meeting of the county board.
This is a letter I wrote to Christian Dorsey and Eric Gutschall back in May of 2019 about the potential increase in the salary cap for the county board members. Gentlemen, I am writing exclusively to Christian Dorsey and Eric Gutschall because you are the two county board members in whom I have some degree of confidence. The subject is the possibility of the county board members voting themselves a salary cap raise after several other county programs have suffered funding reductions. There's a jingle that goes like this. I work hard, you work hard, all God's children work hard. Only a privileged few of the children get to pay themselves more money. I've worked a wide variety of jobs since the age of 10, and while I've been a victim of a layoff, or reorganization, relocation, and a temporary salary reduction when my employer fell on hard times, I have never been able to give myself a pay raise. In fact, I've never had to ask for one, since my work generally spoke for itself. I would like to see someone on the board oppose the rate increase. It would be even better to publicly raise the idea of a 5% temporary pay reduction for the board, since some people in county-funded programs seem to have lost their positions altogether, while other groups have suffered hiring freezes. It's bad enough, really bad, that the board decided that County Manager Mark Schwartz's previous salary of nearly $250,000 was insufficient for his needs. Also, you would do well to avoid talking about reducing your board workload so soon after the partial U.S. government shutdown last January. Advertising your own voluntary partial shutdown isn't good policy or good politics. You're likely to be outvoted anyway, so you have little to lose. A good message might read something like this: I intend to do the job for which I campaigned at the salary that was originally offered. I will not take advantage of my privileged position. Such an announcement is likely to generate some media attention. As producer of the Arlington Weekly News, I'd be happy to convey such a statement if you choose to make it. Just a suggestion. Sounds a little cynical, doesn't it? But wait till you see what really happened.
First, I want to be clear that serving on the county board, for me, and I think I speak for the rest of you, is truly a privilege. We have three options for our consideration this evening. I will summarize them briefly as essentially continuation of current policy, giving modest adjustments for cost of living to this current salary cap. The second option is a new framework, pegging the cap at 100% of the individual AMI, the individual area median income in the greater Washington metropolitan area, and then providing an annual inflation adjuster, which actually is the average rate of inflation that we've experienced for the prior 10 years. So it's not an arbitrary inflation adjuster, it's real inflation averaged out over the past 10 years. Adding that as an annual increment to create a 4-year cap. And then the third is the same methodology, but instead of a starting point of 100% of individual AMI, it's 100% of AMI for a family of 4.
Budgets are critical in estimating board member salaries because higher budgets are associated with more work. DC with a $13 billion budget as compared with $4.6 billion for Fairfax County and $1.4 billion for Arlington. The corresponding board chair salaries are $210,000. That's for DC, $100,000 for Fairfax, and $60,000 for us. The predicted salary for Arlington board members is about $57,000, and that of the chair is about $58,000. These numbers are in line with option 1, raising the salary cap for board members to $61,034 and the board chair to $67,464.
A county board member knows what he or she is getting into when they run for the job in the first place, including pay. And if they're paying attention, they should have a good idea of what the job entails and the time commitments. The pay alone is misleading. Like county employees, board members receive a generous health care plan and a retirement plan. You can take a car on county business. You do what you were elected to do, and you make the time to do it. One board member quipped that you're like a 5-person basketball team who could never leave the court. I say, expand the team, spread the workload, and watch the board's reach and responsiveness improve.
I think it's about who you can attract to do it, and it isn't that people would do it for the money. They wouldn't. You just have to make it possible for people to have a reasonable lifestyle and way of being and do this job at the same time. Some sacrifice is fine. Actually, it is built into the job, as anybody who's done a job like this knows, certainly for the families. But there's only so much sacrifice people are willing to do.
I'm going to move the county board adopt a salary cap effective January 1, 2020 of $89,851 for a board member and $95,734 for a board chair, which is otherwise known as option 2.
Second.
Moved and seconded. We can have discussion.
I think that this is one step that is critical to making sure that we have the best policies so that we can achieve the American dream. I'll be supporting option B.
And I will therefore support the motion to ensure the strength and health of this body by making sure loss of income is not a barrier to seeking this office.
So I want to just begin by acknowledging what an incredibly awkward situation this is. I know the fact that the board must set its own pay and must set its own salary cap and then its own pay raises rub some people the wrong way, but that is the law.
This fundamentally unseemly conversation has at least surfaced some helpful longer-term questions about how this county will be governed in the future that I'm really interested in. So grudgingly and unseemingly, I am going to support the motion.
Everybody in favor of the motion which has been seconded to adopt option 2, pegging board member salary cap to 100% of individual AMI and escalating at 2.27% in the succeeding 4 years, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it 5-0.
I have to acknowledge that these short extracts are not really sufficient to do justice to the proceedings. Therefore, I'll be taking a longer look with better analysis next week. Be sure to tune in, listen in, or look up our Independence Day show.
Well, there you go. They did it. I mean, why not? Gee whiz. There's incentive right there to run for a public office, run for the county board. You get to vote yourself a pay raise. Okay, well, we better stop here before we really get in trouble. But that's a wrap for this edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News for our pre-4th of July show. Again, thanks to Tony for sitting in down there and doing our EBG in Adele's car trouble absence. And thanks to you, Mr. Richard, for sitting in here tonight. And thanks to all of you for watching. So next week, if you're out there, we'll be here and we'll try it all again. Happy 4th of July. Have a safe week. Bye-bye.